Hey everybody, and welcome to this explanation of what we're going to do in week 7. And as we know, we are getting real close to wrapping up the class. So the class ends. I kind of push this forward a little bit. It ends by the 24th, which is a week from this Thursday. So you're going to have to get some things done fairly quickly. And I do too. I have to give you your feedback from Milestone 4. So the sooner you can get me the Milestone 4s, the quicker I can get you that feedback. And so you can kind of wrap it up. And I'll put out another announcement on the final project and what you need to put together and all that kind of thing. Okay, so let's talk about this week. Well, let's talk about last week. You went through the marketing material, the marketing message, the promotional channels, what integrated marketing is. We talked a little bit about social media as well. And you submitted your milestone 3, and again, I'll get you the feedback as soon as I can. And this week you're going to submit milestone 4 by Sunday, but again, the sooner you can do it, the better. We're going to cover off on 2 chapters, and this is really just measuring how you're doing with some of the marketing tools that are out there. This is an area where things are changing very quickly, and no matter what you write as a textbook writer, it's probably going to be pretty kind of dated anyway. And there's a little bit of that in our text. But if it's something that interests you, then I suggest you pursue other coursework in it, because you can get whole degrees in data analysis and things like that. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about this week. Work on your milestone 4, get that done, and use the time that you have to update the first 3 milestones. Make sure that you've got all the edits in place and things that you want to do. Use this week to do that. Okay, so let's talk about those chapters real quick and what's in them. In chapter 14, you're going to look at customer evaluations and why should you care about those. Look at how consumers evaluate products, where some of the sources of expectations that they have, an expectation experience. All those things are really, really important to get a good handle on, and do it continuously so that you get some good information. And it should change and have you evolve what you're offering. How do marketers measure quality and customer satisfaction? You're going to also cover on loyalty and customer relationship management, or CRM as it's otherwise known as, which is that has evolved so dramatically in a very short period of time through companies like Salesforce, and you're not the only ones. There's other ones out there as well, but it's an interesting topic and something that you're going to definitely need to know about more of as you go forward in marketing. It's a concept that helps us to do predictive statistics to help us do projections, basically. Looking at different variables that can be defined that help us understand the value of those customers that we have. So the recency and frequency and monetary value of a customer allows us to consider what the customer's lifetime value could be. And they'll talk about some different things there. It's something that I've worked with for decades, and so it's something that I've used quite a bit. So if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so that's chapter 14. So when you're done with it, you want to be able to describe different ways that customers evaluate their purchases, explain how consumers make evaluative assessments, identify how customer satisfaction is measured, and discuss the relationship between customer evaluations and brand loyalty. So within our managerial framework that we've been working with all term, this is taking a hard look at what the customers do and how that would flow through. So those are things that, again, it is its own field in marketing, and if you're interested in it, there's many paths you can choose to help you do that, and I will be happy to answer any questions if you are interested in it. So don't hesitate to reach out. Let's take a look at chapter 15. In chapter 15, we kind of take a cursory look at what marketing research is. Again, it's something that, as definitions go, has changed quite a bit over time. Again, our friends AI and big data are shaping it in a very big way. So you need to kind of rethink exactly how the information that you're looking for isn't necessarily changing. How you're getting that information is definitely changing. Okay. So why is marketing research so important? You want to be able to look at that. Cluster analysis for segmentation. I've always enjoyed doing that. It's a complicated thing and it's easy to do wrong, so you have to be careful. But it is pretty powerful analysis. Perceptual mapping for positioning. Again, a very powerful thing that you can do. Focus groups for concept testing. Done hundreds of those in my time. I find them very insightful because you get to hear people. You don't read or analyze data, you get to hear what people have to say, and a lot of times it's very, very telling. Conjoint for testing attributes. So a lot of testing is done. Again, that as a field is going through massive changes right now. The amount of data we have is just incredible, and it's really kind of turned testing and the purposes of testing and things like that on its ear. Scanner data for pricing, coupon experiments, brand switching, that kind of thing. Scanner data is interesting to look at. They're the two biggest companies in it. I think this is still true. I haven't looked in a while, but I think this is still true. Are Resource International. I'm sorry. It took me a second to remember. IRI is Information Resources International, and that actually as a entity doesn't exist anymore, but it was the kind of the Bible that people used of data that people would get scanner data from, that kind of thing. Nielsen also, as a company, was one that specialized in that. And so between them, they were the two biggies, and coincidentally were based in Chicago. I don't believe that's true anymore, but yeah, it's an interesting field. And then using surveys for assessing customer satisfaction. There's lots of ways to garner that data today, but those are things that are done. And again, it's changing rapidly. So your objectives here is you want to be able to discuss the importance of marketing research to get insights into your customers. Describe how marketers use cluster analysis to gain an understanding of market segments. Discuss brand positioning in the context of a perceptual map. It's kind of an interesting thing to do. Identify the benefits that focus groups can provide brand managers, especially in early concept testing. And then explain how conjoint analysis helps shape product design. Using scanner data to understand consumers' reactions to prices, brand loyalty, and switching. And use surveys to measure customer satisfaction. So again, this all ties together this is kind of the back end of our entire process where we're kind of looking at it and saying like, okay, we put all this out there, now how well is it working and what are things that we can do to change? So it's the product information that comes back to us, not product information, it's the marketing information that comes back to us that should, show us where we need to tweak and change our plan. And that's very important to do. So for the purposes, just kind of a heads up, for the purposes of the final project, you're going to comment on using some basic, again, I'm going to keep it simple. This could get very complicated, so and that's not what this class is about. So I'm going to keep it simple, but you're going to kind of contemplate on what marketing research, and what kind of feedback loops are you going to create and what kind of tools are you going to use. It's not a big part of it. And I'll keep the choices relatively simple. Okay, good news is no more quizzes. Bad news is no more quizzes. So if you want to improve your quiz grade, that ship has sailed, as they say. So you want to concentrate your efforts on getting the final project put together as best that you can. Okay, and that will be due the following week. Let me tell you exact date. As you can see, that'll be due Tuesday the 22nd at 11 by the end of the day, basically. And you're going to, just kind of a heads up, although this is not a big deal, you're going to put out a summary of your project, and then you're going to comment on your cohorts. In the case of our class, obviously, it's just one other person, but you're going to comment on that person's post as well. And that you have till the end of the day on Wednesday to do. So anyway, that's what's coming. I'm going to put out more information on the final project, so don't worry about that. That'll have its own module and information about it. And I'll put out a video on that as well. Okay, so that's what's coming up this week. Kind of getting you somewhat prepared for wrapping up the class. That's what's coming in the next week. And we'll go from there. All right, so good luck. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.